Hi everybody, this is Professor Wagle and this is your lecture for Module 11 and 12, right? Before I move on to that, just want to remind you your rough draft report for the project management software is due tomorrow. Look at the example I posted. Be uh, be very close to what I posted, right? It's a draft again, so don't worry if it's not completely finished. Put in whatever you have, and your peers will give you feedback on that. Okay. Now, employment outlook report. What is an employment outlook report, right? So oops, sorry. Okay, so an employment outlook report is basically a report chronicling the employment prospects, employment outlook of a specific profession. So, in your case, each of your teams are divided according to the majors they have chosen. So, we have engineering teams and we have business teams, accounting and business teams. We have teams which are in healthcare. Uh, all of those teams, what you guys are doing now here is researching your own majors, researching your own professional trajectory. So, what you're doing is researching the professions you would join once you graduate. That's what your employment outlook report is. Now, how do you do this research and put those findings in this report? So, there are two ways for you to do that. And you will be doing both of this, primary research and secondary research. Yeah. So now the primary research involves two things. First of them is interviewing a professional in your field. So engineering majors will be interviewing engineers in their field. Accounting majors will be interviewing accountants in their field, right? However, before you can interview anybody, you should have questions to interview them with, right? So that's where your first assignment, developing interview questions, come in. Now, what kind of questions are you asking these people? You are not interviewing them to give them a job, right? That's not what this is. This is more of an informational interview, and the information you're trying to get will help you write this report, will help you figure out what you need to know about this profession you will join 1, 2, 3 years down the line. So, those are the questions you are asking here, right? So, those are the questions you're discussing with your teammates. What are the good questions to ask a potential an accountant before we join the accounting field, before we become an accountant, right? What are good questions to ask an engineer, right? That's what you're discussing here. So in developing interview questions, you are coming up with questions to ask this person to help you in your primary research. Okay, so you could ask them questions like what kind of qualification besides an accounting degree do I need to become an accountant or to become a CPA? What are the challenges in this job? What are the benefits or good things about this job? You could ask them questions about work life balance. You could ask them questions about how easy it was for them to find this job or how difficult. You can ask them their opinion on the job growth or job stability of this particular profession, right? You could even ask them questions regarding the current situation and how it has affected their job, right? So, do they still work from home? Are they able to consult with clients over the internet? How has the COVID situation affected the job hiring processes? All of those questions you can ask them in this interview. So before you can even ask them in developing interview questions, you will come up with those questions to ask. Since you are all in your groups from the same majors, your questions will be pretty much same, right? But coming up with a consensus on specific questions helps you keep your report in a very consistent format. So that's what you're doing. So again, very simple assignment. asking you to come up with questions to ask a profession in your field about their job, about the job prospects, about the employment prospects. That's all you're doing. Okay. Now, the second primary research you will do falls under gathering data for the Employment Outlook report. Now, what does that entail? It asks you in the prompt to find 3 job postings. Now, do not find a job posting that is for an internship. Find a job posting that's for an entry level position in your chosen professional field, right? So find that. So for software engineers, you will find positions, 3 job postings from companies looking for software engineers. Same goes for accountants. 3 job postings for accountants, right? Entry level, because that's what you will be looking for when you graduate and look for jobs. Then analyze these job postings, right? How do you analyze them? Look for things that all of these jobs ask. Usually they will be similar. They will be asking for certain educational qualifications. They will be asking for, maybe some of them will ask for certain courses that you should have had or certain certifications. Some of them will be asking for your GPA, or they will be asking to list your internship experiences. If you have those, list those, right? So find all of those things and analyze and find out what are the common things in there, what are the things that are not common. So you're analyzing 3 job postings. So each of you will be analyzing in your groups. Each group, each member is analyzing 3 job postings. You can find them on LinkedIn, on Indeed, or on other websites. So if you're a group of 3, you should be total in the group 9 job postings will be analyzed, 3 by each person, right? So that's your second thing. So first was your interview, second is you're analyzing 3 job postings, and third, in gathering data for Employment Outlook report, it asks you to interview a person, a professional in your field, and write that down. Now, I do not expect you, though if you can, you should be able to. If you can interview a person by the end of the week, that's great. But if you need a few more days, that's all right too. But even if you can, you should have at least the name and contact and professional or their designation in this report. So even if you can interview the person by the 26th, make sure you have their name, Mr. Jack Smith, software engineer, Fidelity Investment, and their contact information, either email, phone number, how you're going to interview them, right? So you need to have that at least in there. So make sure, even if you don't have an interview, in gathering data for Employment Outlook report, you at least have the name and designation and the contact information of the person you would like to interview, right? This project is doable because I have taught this class in a 3-week winter semester, and my students have done this in 2 weeks, and I know you guys can do it too. So it's not a big deal. You should be able to do it. I'm going to post a bunch of examples of Employment Outlook reports for different professions, so you have a better idea how to go about it. But it's not a whole, it's not very difficult assignment once you get onto it. It just takes a lot of coordination and a lot of research. Now the secondary research. Secondary research will be you will find through the BLS listings. So that's Bureau of Labor Statistics, and I will post a link to that in one of these assignments. So you can go and look up that and look up all the each profession's information and statistics about each profession that are listed on BLS, and you'll use that to write your report. So you will have secondary and primary resources, and that's how you're doing this. Okay, so I hope that clears up a lot of confusion if you have any. And I will also be doing a Zoom meeting at 5 later today. So if you have any questions, you can ask me there. We can schedule another one for 2 days from now if you have more questions. Okay. But that's about it for this week. Next week is our finals week, so you have, but all you do is next week too is work on employment outlook report, and that's about it. And there's one more small assignment, but don't worry about it now. So that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. But this is basically we are in the home stretch, so hang in there. Make sure you coordinate with your teams and submit everything you can, and we will take it from there. Right now, again, your project management software report final is due on this 28th, so that this Sunday. On 26th, you have gathering data for employment outlook report due, so make sure you guys do that. And then it says your draft for employment outlook report is due on the 28th, but I will extend the date for that because I recognize you may not be able to do finish that in time, but it's a draft again, so as much information you can put in there, that's great. Okay, so that's all I have for you right now. Look at the examples posted, look at the video, look at the Skype meetings I'm having with different teams, because that will also give you an idea of what you have to do. And if you have questions still about these reports, I sometimes end up answering them in those meetings. So look up the Zoom cloud recordings and you should be able to find the answers to those there too. Okay, otherwise shoot me an email and I will answer your questions that way. All right, so I will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.